very good evening. Good evening, chairpersons, and good evening, dear friends. Greetings from Satara. This is Kas Plateau, a World Heritage Site from Satara. It's a beautiful valley of flowers. Change of name. Change of name. I take this opportunity to extend my thanks to Team Amravati for inviting for inviting me to this Chai Pe Charcha at this grand mehfil for the Amoghs 34th Amoghs. So I think all of you had a chai, and now we'll move on to Charcha. I have chosen a simple topic of Rh negative mother, which we come across day in and day out at our OPDs. Initially, I will go through briefly through the research system and Rh isoimmunization, and then we'll have a Charcha, a case-based discussion on our management of Rh negative mothers. Research system is one of the 36 known human blood group systems. It is second most important after the ABO blood group system. It consists of many antigens, as many as 50 antigens. But what is more important and relevant is only type D or D antigen, which is most common and the only preventable type amongst this research system. It is important to know that this Rh antigen appears around 38th day after conception, and it remains lifelong. The Rh status of one doesn't change throughout the life. It is inherited by autosomal dominance through a gene located on chromosome 1. The incidence varies from 1% to 35%. In India it is around 5%, and in Spanish Basque it is around 35%. It is very surprising to know that almost 40% of the Spanish population is O negative. So if anybody requires O negative blood, can bring to Spain. All of you know how this Rh disease or Rh isoimmunization occurs. This is called as HDFN, or hemolytic disease of fetus and newborn, and the affection ranges from mild jaundice to perinatal loss. The sensitization event occurs when at least 0.1 ml of fetal blood enters into the maternal circulation. The D antigen on fetal RBCs evoke the immune response. The IgM antibodies are formed. These are followed by IgG antibodies within the period of 2 weeks to 6 months. There is also a sensitization of B lymphocytes. In subsequent pregnancy, if there is re-exposure, then there is aggravated and flared up immune response, and lot of IgG antibodies are formed. This cross the placenta and attach to the fetal RBCs, leading to hemolysis, fetal anemia, and hyperbilirubinemia. These are different terms. All of you know the erythroblastosis fetalis, where lot of erythroblasts are produced by bone marrow and released into fetal circulation. The hydrops fetalis, where because of severe anemia and anoxemia, there is multi-organ failure. The heart fails, the liver fails. There is hypoproteinemia, portal hypertension. A lot of fluid builds up in the baby's fluid and tissues and organs, and babies becomes ascites. There is high risk of such fetal hydrops being stillborn. The next thing is kernicterus. It appears from high levels of bilirubin. It can occur at lower levels in prematurity. The bilirubin crosses the blood-brain barrier and that damages the fetal nerve cells. Being neurotoxic, it leads to affection of fetal nervous system and may lead to neonatal death. What are the various events that lead to this Rh isoimmunization? You are all familiar. Anything that leads to any bleeding from fetus to the mother will lead to sensitization. The most important being abortion, MTP, invasive procedures, and postpartum, that is after the delivery of Rh positive baby. The common anti-D prophylaxis provided, there are some guidelines. So briefly I will go through. The discovery of anti-D is blessing of modern obstetrics to the Rh negative mothers. The incidence of isoimmunization has come down drastically from 16% to less than 1.6% with this administration of anti-D, and this can be reduced further if we strictly adhere to this prophylaxis regimen. Commonly we give 300 microgram, a single dose of anti-D at 28 weeks to all non-sensitized Rh negative mothers. It can be given in 2 doses of 100 microgram at 28 and 34 weeks. Further dose of 300 microgram is given postpartum within 72 hours if the delivered baby is Rh positive. It can be given up to 14 to 28 days postpartum because it offers at least some protection. So we should not miss on giving this anti-D. All the Rh sensitization events that we have seen, they need also the anti-D prophylaxis. Up to 12 weeks, the dosage is 50 to 150 microgram, and after 12 weeks, the dosage is 150 to 300 micrograms. In few cases where there is possibility of large feto-maternal hemorrhage, we have to calculate the dose as per the Kleehor-Betke test. 1 in 1000 deliveries result in large feto-maternal hemorrhage. When we call this as large feto-maternal hemorrhage is that whenever there is more than 30 ml of blood entering into the maternal circulation. So here we call this as large feto-maternal hemorrhage. The estimation of amount of fetal blood in the maternal circulation is determined by Kleehor-Betke test, which utilizes the principle of acid elution. The fetal hemoglobin is more resistant to acid as compared to the maternal hemoglobin. So when the blood is exposed to the acid, the maternal RBCs are ghosted or eluted, and only the fetal cells are seen on the slide prominently. In this slide, you count 2000 RBCs total and differentiate between fetal and maternal RBCs. If the count of fetal RBCs is divided by 2000 into maternal blood volume, that is around 5000 ml, it will give you the fetal blood in ml. Each ml of fetal blood will require 10 microgram of antibody, anti-D antibody. For example, if you found 36 fetal RBCs on a count of 2000, then you will the feto-maternal hemorrhage is to the tune of 90 ml, and you will require 3 vials of 300 microgram of anti-D. So with this, we'll proceed to the case-based management. First is a simple case. This is a primary, unregistered, having Rh negative blood group. So how to proceed and how to manage this case? What precautions should we take during labor? The first and foremost, we have to do the husband's Rh status. If husband is negative, then all well, nothing doing. We should give the routine antenatal care to this patient. If husband's blood group is Rh positive, then you have to counsel the patient regarding the possibility of Rh isoimmunization and the effects of isoimmunization on fetus. What we have to do is we should do indirect Coombs test at first prenatal visit. Why at first prenatal visit? Because we don't know the previous sensitization events in her life, and there is high possibility that she is already sensitized, and so we should do the ICT at first prenatal visit. If ICT is negative, then we have to repeat it as 28 weeks. If it is again negative, give anti-D prophylaxis as discussed earlier. If it is positive, of course, if ICT is positive, no anti-D is given, and we have to go for ICT titer and further management. Nowadays, we can know the fetal Rh status by doing NIPT, which is done around 14 to 16 weeks, but it is very costly and has limited role because of its cost and cost effectiveness. What precautions to be taken in delivery of Rh negative mother? The principle is be gentle. So there should be no fundal pushing, no handling of uterus. Then we should clamp the cord quickly and send the cord blood for fetal blood group, direct Coombs test, hemoglobin and fetal hematocrit. Let the placenta be delivered spontaneously. Avoid pulling, twisting or avulsion of cord. protect all the perineal wounds and lacerations from being exposed to fetal blood. No ergotamines to be given, no uterine massage or squeeze during C-section, use of mops on the both sides of uterus, and avoid the spillage of blood into the uterine cavity. The next case is G3P2L2. Here, whether to give anti-D or not, again do ICT at first visit. If ICT negative, give anti-D. If ICT positive, do anti-D titer. There are two levels of ICT levels. That one is, if it is less than 1:16, which is critical level, then routine monitoring is required. You can do the serial antibody titers every 2 to 4 weeks. If it is above critical level, then there is significant risk of higher drops, and you have to monitor intensively using MCA, PSV Doppler and antibody titer every 1 or 2 weeks. The next case is fourth gravida. She had first ectopic, second 25 weeks fetal loss, third was abruption. So what is the possibility of isoimmunization? Here there is possibility of large fetal-maternal hemorrhage, and as most of the time we do not do the Kleor-Betke test and adequate prophylaxis is not given. So here there is high risk of isoimmunization. Again, do the antibody titer. If it is above critical level, then we have to monitor it intensively by using either MCA Doppler or by amniocentesis in Lilly chart or by direct percutaneous umbilical blood sampling. So these are the classical presentations of hydrops. The MCA Doppler, it directly correlates with the fetal anemia, as the anemic fetus preserves the oxygen delivery to brain by increasing the cerebral blood flow. If MCA PSV is more than 1.5 mom, then it is highly significant and baby is severely anemic. Amniocentesis is old method. It is largely replaced today by MCA PSV. In this amniotic fluid, optical density is obtained at 450 nanometers, and it is charted in the Lilly's graph. This is Lilly's graph. It is divided in zone 1, 2, 3. Zone 1 is low risk and zone 3 is high risk of fetal anemia. So now if the patient is with very high critical titer and MCA PSV of more than 1.5, how to manage these cases? Here we are sure that the fetus is severely affected and there is high risk of fetal anemia. So we can know the fetal anemia by either amniocentesis or by ultrasound signs. Here the treatment is intrauterine transfusion. We can give intrauterine transfusion either through intraperitoneally or through umbilical vein. The amount of blood is around, for 1 kg fetus, around 20 ml is transfused. The O negative blood with PSV more than 80% is used. This is the procedure for intrauterine transfusion, and intrauterine transfusion has changed the way we manage these Rh negative mothers. The further monitoring is done again with MCA PSV. The IOT has become increasingly common and safe procedure in the hands of fetal medicine experts, and with the advent of newer and newer gadgets. This is the change in MCA Doppler. This is the slide above is MCA Doppler before IUT, and the slide below is after the intrauterine transfusion, and it can tell us the success of intrauterine transfusion. Managing sensitized Rh negative mother was dreadful and scary a few decades ago. Change scenario today is a miracle of modern obstetric and fetal medicine. Introduction of anti-D has brought down the risk of isoimmunization to very low levels. At the same time, MCA Doppler and intrauterine transfusion has dramatically improved the outcome of severely affected fetuses. Majority now can be salvaged with proper management. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.